The world has changed as a result of the ongoing pandemic. Everything has changed. Lots of parents have assumed the role of being a teacher in terms of the child's learning so that they don't miss out during this lockdown. This role actually places parents in a unique position of fulfilling parental responsibilities as well as meeting the requirements of being a teacher. It's tough, isn't it? It's really hard. Some parents have actually found this exciting, they found it quite interesting, and some it's a big challenge, you know. To impact the morals, we need to make the best use of these times, although it is difficult. And you see it all over, parents appreciating what teachers do and the lots of effort they make when you are at your various jobs and the children are at school. Several schools have sent resources. They have sent shared online resources. There are lots of applications parents use to support and facilitating teaching these children. However, there are lots of challenges. People are struggling. Importantly, people are faced with fear and panic. So it's difficult to choose what activity to use at what time. One thing I've always said is a parent is a child's most important teacher. The moment you become a parent, that moment, from that time, you become a child's teacher. Today we have Barbara here. Barbara has a BSc in child development. She has an MSc in education, training management, and QTS in early years. Barbara has over 15 years of experience lecturing and teaching in colleges, universities, teaching child development within Portsmouth, Hampshire, and West Sussex. Barbara is currently the CEO and Director of Moonlight Family Educational Service. Can we welcome Barbara today? Hello, Barbara. Thanks for joining us today. I'm really excited to have you. Thanks for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm super excited and honored to be here. I'm so
Oh,
grateful to be here. Thank you. And I just want to say congratulations.
thank
This is a great
you.
job.
Thank you
You really,
so much. Right. So,
I
yeah, go on.
can't wait to learn more. You know, Look, I'm a student of life, and I learn to learn, and I can't wait to actually all the experts that they coming along to learn from
Yes,
them.
yes, yes. It's going to be interesting times. We're looking forward to interesting times ahead. Right. So I talked a little bit about you, and I gave a brief introduction. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, I've been in education industry for over 15 years now. I'm a CEO for Moonlight Family Educational Service, where obviously we support parents to develop their career. We've got after school club, we've got nursery coming up, we've got tutoring maths and English and science. We have different activities to support parents to develop their career, whether to go back to university or go back to college or in apprenticeship. At
Mm,
the moment, I do lecturing in child development, or
mm,
I'm doing supply teaching in primary schools where
mm,
I really don't want to lose my skills. So I do. That's what I'm doing now.
mm.
So
Right. So The world has changed. I just said that earlier, and lots of people are faced with fears, and everyone is having to stay at home, as you are aware, and parents are having to take on the role of being a teacher. Yeah, and I said some people have enjoyed it. However, there are some people that are faced with the challenges on what sort of activities are right. What should they expect? What should they do at this times in managing and teaching their children, meeting the teaching requirements? So, what would you suggest?
Well, I know we all find ourselves in this unprecedented situation, and it's really having an impact, a significant impact on
Yeah,
every babies to older, our elderly people are really sort of feeling it most than the babies, because babies also even losing interaction and development from the other babies. They can't go anywhere.
yeah.
Toddlers, there's no nursery schools and stuff like that. So everyone's feeling it. I was talking to my mom and I said, have you even my mom will be 70 next year. So I was asking her,
Bless
have you
her.
had this experience, how do you call it, in your lifetime? And then she said, no, but my grandmother did. When she
Mm,
was 12 years old, that's when influenza came in. And
wow.
my grandmother, said that it was really scary moment.
Mm, mm.
And, regardless of what we're going through, everyone is also scared. So our well-being is deteriorating.
Yes, it
And the
is.
you know the parents are also forced to be the teachers, that they haven't got a skill set
Skill, yeah.
to children. The one thing I will say though, I've got three significant points that I want to share, and there's no right and wrong as to how individual go about it. But
Mm,
one thing I would say, the parents, before we go on to discuss this, parents shouldn't worry
mm,
about teaching their children, like they have to. There's no assessment to all the packs that they're giving, but
mm,
it's just the teachers want the children to practice their skill set. They've actually taught them already, so
mm,
they forget when obviously they go back to school.
mm.
So, it's all about practicing. But anyway, I've got three significant points,
Yes.
essential, very imperative, that I want to share. The first one is routine.
Mm,
And the routine, when I mean the routine, is being consistent.
yeah.
And I know everybody, this situation has forced them to change their routine.
Routine,
So
yeah, that's true. Mm,
yeah, because some of parents are working from home. Some of parents are not working at all, and they've got a long sort of time, hours, for themselves, and they don't know what to do with
mm,
themselves. So it's really painful, to be honest. But one thing I would say that routine is very essential.
it's key.
Consistency,
Yeah.
routine, patience, and encouragement. And I will talk about the routine first, because routine is imperative, is very significant. And when I say that, I know that a lot of parents are forced to change their actual routine,
Mm,
and they some of them are sleeping. Children are sleeping very late.
mm,
There's no wrong and right, because you just relax. You're not going anywhere, but it
mm-hmm.
needs to be consistent. So if a child sleeps,
Consistent,
you know,
yeah.
sleeps at 9 p.m., they must sleep at 9 p.m. every single day, and then you make sure children have a significant amount of sleep they need it, because a this is very good to build their immune system, and
Mm,
then obviously to protect their well-being as well, because
mm,
if they're not having enough sleep, that will have an impact on their the daytime activities.
yeah.
They can be cranky, they can be rude and stressed, and
Mm,
all sorts of things, that negative things that it can have the impact on a daily basis. So
mm,
what I would say is the parents need to be aware that children need to sleep at 9, maybe wake up at 9, have a certain routine. So wash, or if they wash in the morning, they bath, have breakfast, and then start their activity. So if they have a school pack that they have to be online, there's a scheduled time that they have to go on for, so the parents can set that time. After that, they can have a break.
Mm.
When when they have the break, and then they can go on to different activities. So parents can design different activities, for their children, and then they can go on, but they can also bring the children in, give them autonomy, so
Mm.
they can, they can actually, you can ask the child, like, for instance, after my maths, you can say, after maths, what would you like to do? You got
Do.
2 hours.
So letting them take charge of their day. Mm.
Yes, let them, give them. Children like to have autonomy. It's not just the children, but everybody wants to have a freedom. And
Yeah.
psychologically, it's very important. When you give them autonomy, it gives them, it help them to be creative, so
Mm.
they can independence and do their own thing. But remember, you've given them 2 hours. That is where the parents, indirectly, taking control, because you have given them 2 hours. But they know that in their mind, they also think, okay, yeah, I'm in charge here. So if they want to go and do, what's it called? Xbox, they go and do that.
And
If
lots
they
of
have
games.
to,
They have all these games, Fortnite, Roblox, and all this, isn't it?
exactly. So they can actually go on and use that 2 hours for their activities. And then they
Mm.
come back again, that they have to have lunch or snack or whatever the youth prepared. You can all sit down together and have that. Okay. And then they go on to do their English. If they
Mm.
have an English activities that are all the packs they have to do, they can go on and you say, okay, now that is scheduled time because the teacher's the pack. If it's online or hard copy, there's a time to that. So they can use that time to do that particular activity. Then
Mm.
you give them another hours again. And you can design different activities that these children, can go on and do during the time, the day. And that
So
really,
this will actually require that parents are very creative. They have to be creative, which I think it's quite, it's a lot of things to do to be creative. I know we're all creative, but then, especially with coming up with these activities, what would you, yeah.
I think parents have a high degree of creativity that, but it's just that they haven't actually, sat down and think about what these activities going in allocated time. Like, for instance, maybe the children can play this game like we just talked about in maybe 12 to 2 o'clock, 1 2, that's 2 hours. It's there. The thing that parents lack is time management to
Mm.
have that structure. But with the activities, I think every parent, regardless, even if in the remote area, they have a high degree of creativity to help their children to have something to do. It's
Mm.
just that it's not allocated in a, like,
Mm.
yes, they haven't actually scheduled that particular activities. And when it goes everywhere and there's no structure, that's where problem actually start, and the stress. Children get stressed and the parents get stressed as well. So it's very important that parents have a time management. Like I said, routine and consistency. So
Mm.
9 o'clock, they get up, watch between that time, brush them teeth, 9:30. 9:30 to maybe 10, breakfast. 10 to 11, the school activity. 2 hours, from 11, obviously, to another 2 hours, they can actually have their own activities they want to do. Come
Mm.
back together. If the parents are working from home, that 2 hours, the children playing on their own game, they can also put much work into the actual daily job they're doing. And
Mm.
then they will all come back for lunch. That's also help you and your children to spend time together.
Together,
Sit
yeah,
back.
because I said earlier that this period is a time to bond as a family. So yeah, having those activities with them is a time for you to bond with them and build this family culture, and an opportunity for you to impact your morals as well, isn't it? Mm.
It's very good that you raised that question. It is, but can you believe that this can also be a time the parents probably might not be able to even spend time with their children, because they will sit somewhere playing games, and then they will not actually have that time together. So, schedule time and having that structure, like we all sit face to face, no game, we having lunch together, we might not have this opportunity again. So it's really hard, but it's also there is a very, very sort of positive side to it, that we can sit down, we all have lunch together face to face, without phone, without tablet, without TV on, and then we have a proper conversation, like going on, that it will actually help us maybe to lead us to another activities, during the day, what we're planning to do. And I think that it's really important that parents actually be aware that, okay, having a structure is very good. It will help the parent and it will help the child as well.
So, the second point, and what was the second point here you were going to share?
My second point is actually patience. Having a patience. I think this the pack that the teachers have, designed for the children to have at home. The children have a skill set already, and coming from African background, I know that we like this academic sort of. You have to, get all of them correct. All the maths you need to get to 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is, and then the parents are really struggling because they don't have the skills to teach the children as to how teachers, actually teaching them in school. And this is maybe one of the highest that regardless, even if you're a university lecturer, you will feel the punch because you haven't got a skills to teach little children.
Yes.
Yeah, like for instance, if a child have 1 + 1 in school, in year 2, maybe they've taught them they have to use bar model, or they have to use a number line to work out what 1 + 1 is. The parents also know that 1 + 1 is 2. The children thinking about what to do as to maybe reading on a sheet what
on
they
the
have.
sheet, by using the number line and expecting them to, when the parents do not know that, they don't have an understanding of that approach.
Yeah, and the parents probably will be saying 1 + 1 is 2, just put them wrong.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
and it's just so hard, and what I'm saying, even as a supply teacher, I'm doing supply teaching now because I like that flexibility. And as a supply teacher, when you go to different, because I go to different schools, and all the schools have different methods, working a specific sort of maybe problem, subtraction, addition, and stuff like that. They use different schemes. So if I go there and I don't know, because my training, maybe I use Singapore mathematics sort of training. When I worked in a private school, we have Oxford University coming in to train us, and they use the Singapore method. And if I go to the other school and they have a different scheme they're using, and then the method is different, I do get confused. And what I do, I usually use the children because they know what they're doing. So I scan through who actually have the higher comprehension of what they've done previously. And they will explain it to the whole class, and then I will learn as well. And then the next one, I can use the same skills to actually teach the ones that they haven't got. So what I would say is the parents really need to work with the children. They can learn from them, because one thing they should remember as well, your child basically they used to the teaching style.
Mm-hmm.
So they know how the teacher calculates stuff, what they do, what they cross out, blah 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 blah. And perhaps the what's it called, I mean, the parents, that's not the way that you learned, when you're learning, because the things are
Have
changing.
changed. Yeah, of course, things have changed a lot. Yeah.
Exactly, different thing. Like I said, 1 plus 1 is 2, but in school, 1 plus 1 is not 2. You have to use number line or bar model to show your answer if you're in year 1 or year 2. In
Mm.
year 3, different sort of, method that you have to use to calculate that. So it's very important that parents should be really, really sort of patient
And
and
work
learn
with
from
children as
children.
well. Mm.
And also, yeah, so they might read it, they might have understanding 1 plus 1 is 2, but that's not the way they have thought in school. So it's very significant. The parents be patient, listen to the child, let their input, value their input. And, like that is what it leads to, like the third point is encouragement.
Yeah, it actually builds
Encouragement.
confidence in the children anyway. Mm.
Exactly. So you encourage the
Mm.
children, and one thing I would say, if even if they get all of them wrong, the first thing that you have to say, well done, that is amazing. Because they've utilized their time, they've completed the task.
Mm.
So that's the first thing that you have to do is you praising them, give them a lot of encouragement, and then come back and say, oh, let's look into it. I think that there's something that you did wrong here. That's why you got this answer wrong. Can
Mm.
we actually tear them apart and see what we can do in order to get the answer? Trust me, I can assure you, the child will sit, because now they know that, first of all, they're really good at what they're doing. So they want to show you that they can do
They can
better
do it, they can do better.
exactly. So they can actually sit down. I know the teenagers are really hard, but with from reception class or even from toddlers up to year year 6, I'm sure. Yeah, if you give them that in boost in sort of encouragement, they
Yeah.
will really work hard. And I think that we need to prepare our children. We take these things like routine things as a black and white, but there's more to it, as to, if a child have a good sleep, it means that they're not going to get stressed, or
Stress.
yeah, because if you don't have
Absolutely.
enough sleep, then obviously, you can't concentrate. So good sleep, good breakfast, like it helps them. Good sleep, good breakfast, good snack. Having any ultra processed snacks or ultra processed food, your energy comes up and then goes quickly, because it doesn't release energy slowly. So a
Mm.
child having a very good breakfast, sleeping and having a very good breakfast or a very good lunch, it really helps their
Key.
concentration.
Mm.
Yeah, it's very key.
Then the other
So
thing I was, when parents find themselves, because of this lockdown, children are stuck indoors, and just like my little one, she wants to go outside all the time, and then they get really anxious. How would and to be honest, most parents, well, some of people I've spoken to just resolve this by maybe giving them their tablets, and how do you manage this situation? Because they are fed up of sitting indoors. So, what would be your advice to parents?
see, as I mentioned earlier, it's significant, for parents to have a structure for
Mm.
the day. We are lucky to have, one you're allowed to go out once a day for your exercise,
Yeah.
right? Obviously, you need to do your social distancing and so on and so
Of
forth.
course, that's
So
that's
when
very
you have a
important.
stretch, exactly, when you have a stretcher for, I mean, a stretcher for the day, and then you have your time management and you allocating individual activities to a time, I
Mm.
can assure you, even Elizabeth, as a 2 years old, will be looking forward to,
So
because if
yeah,
they don't know time, but within their routine, they will know times to go out.
out.
I can assure you, every time she will go and put her shoes on,
When
getting
it's
ready,
time.
and you will see that she hasn't got a watch on. She doesn't even know what is on the clock, the time on there.
But she
But
can
she knows,
tell.
because of my routine, I
Mm.
know that after doing this one is coming next. So
Next.
therefore, yeah. So they will be looking forward to just go out there, run around the block. If you don't have a garden, if you don't have a balcony, to go and stand, you can stand at your balcony. That can be activities that you can do with your children to
Mm.
just see if things are going on. Birds are, flying and stuff like that. Oh, you can go downstairs. Whilst you're going, you can even, the toddlers, you can count in all the stairs. You can count all the stairs up
Mm.
to downstairs, and you come back and you count it, you write it down. Every day you can do that. And the children, would basically have something to look forward to.
To
There's no need to stay at home. So, I mean, one thing you can do for your child is just to get dressed. um, um get out of your pajamas
your
or
PJs,
your,
yeah, they know that we're ready for the day. Mm.
and exactly, and just go out there and do some activity. You don't have to stay at home. We're really lucky, and I think that things are getting better now, so
Yes,
you can
yes.
run.
Fingers crossed. We'll get out of this, and yes, we'll pull through together. Yes, thank you so much, Barbara. Thanks for sharing all these tips with us. It's really been nice to have you, and I hope lots of parents out there have been able to pick one or two things. First thing Barbara has said is we need to have a consistent schedule, and we need to be patient as well. We need to be patient with these children, patient, and let them take control, let them take charge of their learning style because they have an understanding. And this time is not for you to sort of revising those resources that have been sent to you. Not, it's good to learn new things. Yeah, you can learn new things, but let them take charge, use the resources, as opposed to trying to get to create new things, which is okay if you have the time and you're able to do that. And as well as encourage these children as well. We'll pull through together, we'll get over this together. And yeah, we're very pleased to have Barbara, who has come to share her experience with us. Yes, and Barbara has, like, she has the after school club where parents actually drop off their children, or maybe I think you actually pick up children from school, don't you?
We do pick the local areas, and some parents bring them as well, because we support them with, we do maths and English.
Okay.
um and so some parents at 4 p.m. they can bring their children, and the ones that obviously they are at work, we just pick the children up from school. So
Okay, yes. So this
it's
is, yeah, this is all after
yeah,
the lockdown, isn't it? Yes. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, thank
After
you
our
so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Barbara. We really appreciate your time, and we're looking forward to having more of you on our show. Thank you. And
Thank
yes,
you.
sorry. Hmm?
I said thank you for having me.
Yeah,
It
thank you
has.
so much. Yeah, that's Barbara, the CEO and Director of Moonlight Educational Service. Thank you. In addition to what Barbara has shared, it is important that parents make time to take part in these activities with these children. Taking part in these activities would encourage them. And when you have a proper schedule, like Barbara has said, you should be able to fit at least 30 minutes. A child feeling that, oh, my parent, my dad, or my mom is taking part in this activity would encourage them, would build their confidence as well. This is my opinion. You can also ask other people, ask friends, ask family on the sort of activities that they do on daily basis. I know Barbara has shared that we are all very creative, but yeah, it could be different. Yours could be different from what your neighbor has done or what your friend has done. It's good to share your thoughts, to share these activities. Yes. And yeah, thank you all. Thank you for joining today. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, please share this with your friends, share this with your family. And yes, I'll see you on the next episode. Do not forget that the email is on the screen. If you have any question, please send us an email, leave your comments in the chat, and yeah, we'll be happy to reply. Thank you once again, and this is Dr. Bola Adeyeye Omishadei.